Hello, everybody. Welcome to Star Citizen. I'm just gonna be putzing around, having a grand old time in the verse, see how many ways I can end up dying. Alright. First things first. Where are we at? Huh. It appears we are somehow on Grim Hex. Huh, that's kind of funny. Let's see what we got here. We've got nothing. Nothing at all. I think I have some money. Alright, well, for those of you who have not been here yet, welcome to Grim Hex. This is actually a I think what is considered the oldest living structure on in Stanton. Apparently the whenever they start off in a place, the mining facilities and stuff like that, they build these kind of asteroid settlements, and this is one of those. And this unfortunately is grab stone skin. This is unfortunately pretty much looking its age after the larger companies moved in and made their what you call it, all the other standings that they had and stuff like that. Let's go Aftershock. And made all their other buildings and cities when the once it was sold off to the companies, which we'll run into a little bit later. They developed their pretty much all the other things. This was left for pretty much dead. And upon doing so, it just kind of went into disrepair. Those who were capable of leaving left. A few holdouts stayed, and it kind of became a shelter for those who had nowhere else to go. And later, unbeknownst to, well, I should say, known but unknown, is actually the home of the Ninetales. Which, if you're not familiar, they are the current... Oh, I need to get arms too. Pirate organization in Stanton.
even supposed to be here today?
Oh, let me see what weapons they got. And upon having the they kind of do all their business out of Grim Hex. But if you ask anybody around, they don't actually exist here. Yeah, let's go with the. Should I do that? Should I go with the Custodian? With Lumen. Yeah, we'll go with the Custodian. It kind of matches the motif I'm going with. And as we go around here real quick, I'll show you guys what actually is present here. Let's go with this. The holographic. It's good for close quarters, which I'll be doing shortly. Get the suppressor. You are Guardian.
Why can't anyone put things back where they found them? It's not my job to pick up after you. Go. Just go. Stop looking and go.
Oh, it looks like I'm getting a message. Somebody is trying to reach me. Or they were trying to reach me. Okay. And here we go. So we'll go for a quick tour around here. Once I finish getting ready. What's ammo gonna do without the gun? And pressure. Alright. Let's go. So here's Grim Hex. Here's actually, once the game gets a little further along, they promise that this will actually be a betting area, as well as currently one of the areas in which you can purchase beer. You'll actually have races going on outside here. I don't know if they're going to record races going around anywhere else, but you'll have lists here, and you'll actually have betting odds that you could actually bet AUC on. Where I was is actually the place where you could buy armor and weapons on Grimhex. And another thing, being that this is the place where the Ninetales are kind of in charge, it currently is really the only and here's where the dens the apartments are. Here's what I'm looking for. This here is the area that you can get ship components and ship weapons. Dumpers Depot on Grimhex. Currently, with things the way they are, and in Stanton, if you have a criminal record, this is pretty much the only place in which you'd be able to land and fix your ship and purchase things for your ship, I believe. Possibly, you might be able to fix and refuel at landing areas down on planets, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Usually whenever I end up with a crime stat, I'm usually dead and in jail. Yes, this game actually has jail. Hopefully I won't end up showing you that, but just know that it exists. Down here is the place where you would go if you have, well, basically the black market purchaser. That gentleman right there. Where you would drop off illegal goods, or possibly, I'm not 100% sure, they might have missions that you pick up stuff from him. And right ahead is the bar. That gentleman has actually is the longest lasting citizen on Grimhex. Right here is the admin. Here's where you would like buy and drop off stuff. I don't currently believe I have any ships that I can do anything with here. Over here is where you would purchase crypto keys. You actually use these in order to get rid of a crime stat that you may have had, or shut down a comm array. And there might be other things that you would do with it once the game gets a little further along with possible hacking and stuff like that. Over here is clothing store. Basically purchase clothes that you might want, or just regular clothes. You need to be a little bit careful. Elevators here take more lives than the Ninetales ever dreamed of.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
All around the areas, this is where you would get your vehicles.
Your insurance claim has been sent. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage.
So I am going to
Goodbye.
grab myself this.
The ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Goodbye to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Bugs. Let's just get an MR. Let's grab the Aurora.
Stand by. Your insurance claim has been sent.
The Aurora is one of the starter ships that you can choose. There's
Has been delivered to the following location.
two basic ones that are the most common. One is the Aurora, the other one is the Mustang. Maybe during this stream I'll actually show you the two difference.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected. Stand by.
Actually, I have a couple of mining areas available. Hangar 3. Over this way is actually the med area, because you need the med area. That's where the hospital is. It's kind of scary. Now, they've gotten a little bit better, but I should say they've gotten a lot better. In this patch, we actually ended up getting a couple of upgrades. One is an upgrade to all of the to pretty much almost all of the landing areas. They all actually have hangars now. Previously, you would literally be stuck going from planet to planet if you needed to have anywhere to land. Like, there's 4 main planets. There's Crusader, which we're over by right now. There's let's see, Crusader, Hurston, Microtech, and Area 18. I think it's Area 18. It's either that's the name of the city or the name of the planet. I think it might be both. Microtech, the name of the city is New Babbage. Crusader, it's Orson. And Hurston is Lorville. Lorville and Area 18 have places in which you can buy ship. And I am being buggy. Come on, buddy. Okay. So now, Crusader is a gas giant. Each one of the planets has an orbital station. And we are actually going to go to a Lagrange station. And that is where you would go. They're separate areas inside, usually some mining locations. And they have basically just they're kind of the same as the orbital stations. But they're more focused on pretty much being way stations. Most of the L1s, I should say, all the L1s actually have a refinery on board. So Crew L1 is the one that's over by Crusader, or owned by Crusader, and it has a refinery there, and that's actually where I'm going. I'm going to pick up a couple of orders of mining that I did, and go deliver them. What I just did is called a hyper jump. Quantum, I should say. I went to Quantum. And it's basically a super speed that you would end up going from one station to another at a faster pace. Literally, you can't go from one system to another. You literally can do it just within one star system. Currently, star system only exists in one star system, which is Stanton. But hopefully by the beginning of next year, we will actually have a... Oh yeah, they've new to this area also is they've opened up different jump locations inside the... I forget what technically you call these, but basically these asteroid clouds. Each one of the Lagrange stations look kind of like a mushroom, I believe. I haven't looked at any of the new ones just yet. We actually ended up getting several new ones this patch as well. I somehow have a crime stat. So I may not be able to land. I'm probably not going to be able to land. I guess we'll find out. Yep. Okay. I don't know how I ended up getting that. I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do about that. Uh, okay. Let's see what I can do here. I guess I can go back to... Grim Hex and... try and get myself... a way of doing my thing. One thing I can think of is somehow I ended up getting a crime stat while doing Siege of Orison, but that doesn't make sense because, well, no. It's Star Citizen, nothing really makes sense. It just has a lot of bugs. The joy of being a perpetual alpha. You get lots of little fun things. Like dying, and instead of going to prison you go to Grimhex. But you still lose all your stuff. And after you do that, well, you get a good look from Grimhex from the outside. You see what I mean by an asteroid station. It literally is built inside of an asteroid. There it is. So this is Grimhex. Things are just not are quite laggy today. Here's what so landing pads here don't actually have any connection to anything, but they make good places to just do a quick landing. If you just quickly need to run in and out, or just pick somebody up. In my case, I'm basically just doing this. Hop out of the seat. Drop off my crap. Because I am just going to commit suicide and go to jail. Out into the vacuum of space. See if I can make it in. Wow, I'm suffocating longer than I thought. Yep, extraordinarily buggy. Yeah, it's a real buggy day. Normally it lasts like 10 seconds. Running out into the vacuum of space. I don't know if somehow Grimhex has some air pockets, which I kind of doubt, but hey, I've heard weirder things happen. But I'm back at Grimhex. Okay, that's kind of strange. Yeah, elevators at the hospitals here are actually new. They added a bunch of medical hospitals because they ran things called events called Jumptown, and used to cause a huge hiccup because, well, there'd be anywhere between 10 to 30 people doing it, and it tends to take one of the areas that it takes place is down on Yella, and a lot of people would set their spawn here, and upon setting their spawn, they would all get stuck in limbo, waiting, or get bounced somewhere else, while they set everything up here. Okay, these things here, you can actually use these And if you have a low enough crime stat, and all you need to do is pay fines, okay, that's weird. I do still have a crime stat, correct? No, apparently I don't have a crime stat now. That's strange. Well, guess in any case, I get to go back. And my ship is still out there. I think it is. Well, if that's the case, let's go run and grab it. And we get to go see my dead body. It would be there, but it's not. Because, well, bugs.
You are clear to launch.
I guess I need to go down more. Go down one more.
Thank you, and please visit again. Thank you, and please visit again.
So,
You are clear to launch.
well, maybe it's because I died here. Because there's no connection to a thing here. So it's a very good possibility that thing that you don't have
Is now on. Idea raised.
any type of actual setup. There's, if you look, yeah, back there it is again. Maybe I died at Grimhex, and being that Grimhex does not have a communication array around it, which is one of the reasons why your Ninetales is able to exist there, as well as we are. When we're criminals, we can use that area without it setting off flags to everything, to every security agent. I mean, that's why I didn't end up going to prison. So I think I landed there when I ended up getting my ship. But I don't know why it didn't have... Oh, maybe because it's not a fine. So I'll just head over here and... maybe I'll just kill myself now. Mid-jump. Oh, I can't. I can do this though. And that's my crime stat. So now,
Self-destruct activated.
I set my self-destruct so my ship will blow up.
Please evacuate ship.
And boom. That gray suit is literally the one that you get all the time. Anytime that you die, that's the suit you end up with. So I'm not worried about losing that. But now that I died with the crime stat in an area that I'm back at Grimhex. I don't know. I don't know why this is happening. Hey! I nearly died. I'm stuck in a loop. I don't know what's going on. Hey, we can see my death marker. So I'm just gonna call a ship, hop in the ship. Fly somewhere and get killed. Something weird is going on.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Well, we saw the...
Insurance claim has been sent. Please visit us again.
Aurora. Now we'll take a look at the Mustang. The Mustang actually got a little bit of an overhaul this time too, which makes it a little bit more viable as a starter ship. what used to take place is you would literally just kind of go into your thing, and it was good for pretty much just doing bounty missions and things like that, because you couldn't do any of the more starting type of quests and missions that you would take, which are delivery missions, because you really couldn't get the delivery box into the vehicle. Well, now you're capable of doing that. Which is kind of cool.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected.
Because now you could actually drop down the cargo area, and it's actually openable.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Which I'll show you. Back here, used to be able to do this also, but it didn't really do anything. It would drop down. Like it does now. But this would just be a solid thing that you couldn't do anything with. Where now, it actually opens up, and you can place your boxes in here. Or, you can actually crawl in here, and you get access to the internal storage of the ship. So you can actually put things in the ship. So if you do bunker missions or anything that you would loot packages, you're actually able to do that now. Which is more than you used to be able to do. So it's actually a lot more viable of a ship now.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
You are clear to launch.
Maybe I'm about to die. That'd be great. Maybe when I get killed, I'll actually head to prison and I can easily get rid of this thing. But I don't want to try and do the whole... what you call it thing, just because it's quite tedious. So instead, what I'm going to do
Docking request received.
is head to Port Olisar and get blown up there.
Thank you, and please visit again. Landing pad assigned. Landing pad assigned.
Alright.
Docking request received. Docking request received. Quantum travel engaged.
Yep.
Landing.
As soon as I left that area, it let me know that I have a crime stat. That's good to know. I guess crime stats don't get noticed.
Quantum travel
there. That's good information. There. Now I'm basically going to the heart of Crusader Security to get Blown to Kingdom Come. Because the
Quantum travel engaged.
removal of a crime stat is a bit buggy.
Hello. Surrender while you still can. Please, power down.
Shield hit.
Let's play with security.
Not too late. You can still power down and surrender.
I don't wanna. I'm having fun with you guys.
It's not too late. You can still power down and surrender.
Shield failure. Engine systems destroyed. All systems disabled.
And am I now at Klesher? Yes, I'm at Klesher. So this is Klesher, what you call it? Criminal facility. So, hour and a half and I will actually be released from prison. But, hey, while we're here, why don't I show you the things we can do in here? You can actually get contracts here, which is fix these, and you earn merits for doing them. And in this case, we're up to 5. Oh, that's not that bad. So, let's go take care of it. We head out here, you can actually mine. And you get time off for the amount that you bring in. Or you can do what I'm doing now, which is these missions, which is basically run down and fix locations. See, that's Route 1, and here is Route 2. And you can work off time this way. Just by doing these. So you saw that one there. Now you see a 2 here. This is section 2. Might show you a little bit of hand mining while I'm at it. Section 2. And then we look for an opening for section 3. Right there. Then you see the sign for 03. Here's 04. And it's basically each chasm gets a number. That's a dead end. There's. Oh, that's the exit. That is the problem with these. There's 5. They can get a little confusing. And here's what I'm looking for. These actually are oxygen centers because you lose oxygen as you go through these. You can go through and you vent these.
Due to your recent actions, we've reduced time on your sentence.
And that's how you reduce your time. And then it builds up an oxygen supply. And that's how you refill your oxygen supply. So while you're out here mining, you go to those and it'll refill your oxygen. Because you have a limited amount of oxygen to keep you basically under wraps. Oh, did I not get one? Oh, probably because I didn't do the thing at the beginning. In your room, there is a kind of work release. I guess being that I didn't do that, I didn't join the work release. So, I didn't get a hand mining thing. Cool, I guess. Let's check. Nope, I did not get a hand mining tool. No worries. And we look everywhere that has an exit. Now we just follow the exit signs, and that's how you get out. Now, these can actually be set pretty deep. Those missions, you can actually end up having to run all the way to section 12.
Russia Rehabilitation are extremely proud to have played a role in your rehabilitation and hope that you've used this time to better
Oh, looks like I
yourself as a
actually
human
got
and
all
as
of
a
my...
member of civilized society.
And when you're done, you actually can drop off all of your ore here.
Here's a friendly reminder to leave all materials found during mining expeditions outside the living area. These might contain contaminants that...
And when you're done, run through here. Now you can use the merits that you earn as you run out to pick up things like oxygen tabs and stuff like that. And boom. I've earned enough merits to leave. Then you run out here. You could also break out of prison. Which is a little difficult. You kind of go through tunnels that I just showed you. And when you go through those tunnels, you end up finding different codes and stuff. Sneak out through a fan, up through the tunnels, and you find yourself on the surface of, I believe, Magda, which is in the Hurston area, and is extraordinarily hot. When you get out of prison, you end up here. Magda is a very hot area, and you really can't survive on it. Without a special suit, which I believe I might be showing you shortly. I'm gonna head down to the cargo area on Everest Harbor, which is where you end up when you get out of prison. Because I don't believe I have anything here. Oh wait, no, I don't have anything here. No undersuits, no nothing. But being that they have, what used to take place is whenever you would end up on here, you couldn't leave because unless you had a very large ship, because only the very large ships spawned in hangars when you called them. Everything else spawned on a landing pad. So unless you had an undersuit and helmet, you were stuck. And you either had to purchase it, or if you couldn't, beg a friend to bring you one, because there was no way for you to get off the station, especially if you set your spawn point here. You would kind of hope that you set your spawn point somewhere else to where you could actually get yourself a access to one of your undersuits or anything that you had looted or purchased prior. Which is a way, because there is a hospital here. You could actually set your spawn point to anywhere there is a hospital. And when you're at the hospital, you can okay, looks like the elevators are screwed. There's something else going on with this patch that they still have yet to fix. But I guess they're send it back to PTU in order to work that out. So back to main menu. So that's what I was saying. But now all the stations, almost all the stations, except for Port Olisar, which I believe they're doing quite a bit of work on. I don't know what their plan is for it. But it's the only one that still has nothing but landing pads. And it doesn't have a hospital, so you can't actually set that as your spawn point, so there's no chance of you showing up there and being stuck. Screwed. Because the only way you can get in is with a suit, is with an undersuit, and the only way you can get off is with an undersuit, so. Here we are, back at Everest Harbor. Now, hopefully the elevators work. Okay, elevator closed. Yay, they work. Okay. And that, my friend, is one of the joys. I guess they put it in PTU, and it is, I guess, working in... they fixed the elevators in PTU. And I guess they're going to bring this back out and update the live servers for it. So, here's a quick thing. Hangars and Habs, that is where we are. That's where the medical area is, as well as where you can get your ships and where you be spawning from. Galleria, this is the place you go to purchase things. This is basically the mall. We'll stop here. There's the bar. Right here is where you can buy armor and undersuits and helmets. Up here is an admin area. This is where you would go to drop off stuff. Again, you'll see these all over the place. This is where you can get rid of your violations and fine and any fine that you might have. Clothing and shoes. Platinum Bay is where you would purchase ship components. Only components. Not weapons. Only Dumpers Depot can you actually purchase weapons. At the same place. And the other location, and I think, yeah, Dumpers Depot. There's actually a Dumpers Depot on, Area 18 that you can go and purchase that stuff. This is where we're going, Cargo Center. On these, this is the place you would go if you wanted to rent a ship. I probably should have went and got a ship, coming. But here's where you would go to rent the ship. Most of the 3 ships you can get from here. Cutlass Black. The Avenger Titan. And the Misk Freelancer. here's where I came, because I'm going to purchase myself a suit. And actually, the suit that they have here, which I think actually makes no sense. You go in here. Okay. Just an FYI for anybody new and you're gonna purchase things. Right here will give you a list of things to purchase. It auto sets to your armor or your backpack, and most things that you'll purchase will not fit. So make sure that it is set for the or actually will set also to your ship. Make sure that it is set for the location. So we're on Everest Harbor, so it's set to Everest Harbor. And you can use this in order to find your thing. Here's a Novikov, which I actually don't have one, so I'll just purchase one real quick. It is ironic that it has this one, because the Novikov is really good for like sub-zero temperatures, and there's no sub-zero temperature place on what you call it, and Warble. They're all superheated. Microtech has the only one that's actually sub-temperature. Then I will go and we'll put it on. And these are actually count as heavy armor. You see the damage reduction is 40%. Right? But they are put in your what you call it, undersuit. It's technically an undersuit. And now we'll go get a ship out of here. The Pembroke, which is the red armor, which makes a little more sense. The Pembroke armor is actually the heat resistant armor. And I think it's good to 275 degrees Celsius, where this one's good for negative that much, I believe. Let me just double check. Hopefully it will tell me. Yeah, 225. Negative 225 degrees. It's basically the reverse. It goes down to negative 75 and up to 225. They're polar opposites of each other.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Let's grab my favorite starter ship.
Your insurance claim has been sent. Please visit us at
The Avenger Titan.
Goodbye.
Those three are the two that I showed you earlier, the Aurora and the Mustang, are the two starter kits that you normally get. They are the ones that usually come with the Squadron 42, which is the single player game that they're working on as well. Added to it, but you can purchase these on occasion. There's a few others. There is the 100i, which is actually $5 cheaper. It goes for $65, and the Titan goes for $70 for the starter kit. I personally think the Avenger Titan is a better ship for starters. You could take it a lot longer. One, it does give you the access to have to carry the smallest vehicle, which is the Grey Cat buggy. You can actually put that in there. And you can also do the pick up I think it's 8 SCU of cargo, although you can't really do anything with that much cargo at this moment. And you can do the with that cargo hold, you can pretty much do just about any mission you need to. Plus it also comes with a much better array of guns that you can do. You can actually get a size 4 fixed as well as 2 size 3s fixed to give you an added bonus to doing
Welcome to the ASOP
any type of bounty hunter mission that you might do.
to the vehicle select retrieval system. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered.
There's only one other ship that I would really root for if you want to spend money, which is $115, which is the Cutlass Black. And that just basically because it opens pretty much every option to you. It has a cargo hold that'll hold 46 SCU of cargo. And this is what I mean by cargo hold. Right here. It comes with a bed as well, so you can actually log off wherever you're at just by sleeping in the bed.
You are clear to launch.
And the Cutlass Black has 46 SCU of cargo, which is enough to give you a little bit of a bonus for bringing stuff, doing any type of cargo runs. Should you do any cargo runs? And it's large enough that you could actually fit a mining ship in. The mining ship that you will get, that you could use, is called an ROC. And the ROC will actually you could use to do gem mining,
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
which will give you a huge step up in earning potential. Usually they figure a possibility of anywhere between 125,000 to 250,000 an hour. Which maybe we'll do a little bit of rock mining. Now, one of the things about Star Citizen is that they have wonderful things like this, where they take realism to a whole new level. So, quantum speed is what they consider a rational speed. So, you're going 30,000 kilometers, it's going to take you anywhere between 7 to, with a higher grade one, 4 minutes to travel. So you end up with a lot of empty time. Once they open up new areas in order to, which I think the next system that the next system that we're supposed to be getting, which is Pyro, you'll actually jump through a wormhole to go to them. Which they actually have a full system. You can jump, basically they're called jump points. You can jump from Stanton to Pyro, and another one they're going to be opening is Nyx. You can actually, once the game is up and running, you can jump your way back to Earth. But in their timeline, Earth is kind of abandoned. It only has a small contingency of people living there. There's actually allegedly more people living in Stanton than there is at Earth anymore. Everybody else has gone out to the stars. The new location, which a lot of people are wanting to make the head of the human civilization, which is Terra, which we'll also be able to jump to later on. Okay. And we're almost to Cruel 1 again. If you look on the side there, there's two different fuel gauges, hydrogen and quantum. Quantum fuel is used up in these jumps, where hydrogen is your standard fuel, your standard flight fuel. Maybe I'll do this and maybe then do some, what you call it? Do a cave mission or something. Or delivery missions. Yeah, maybe a delivery mission. When you jump, there actually is a cooldown time. So, you can't just jump, then jump, then jump. Yay. Alright. Let's speed up getting location. Now this blue area on the left, that whole line there, that is your throttle. and your velocity indicator. The box is basically your setting, so that is the highest in which you can speed you can go, that you can set yourself at. When you're in the blue area, you're actually, it's a manageable speed, so you can turn and react in that speed. The higher you go into the red, the more difficult it is to do any type of maneuvers, but the faster you go.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay. Hello.
Uh-oh. Are we about the 30K? Yep, I think we're about to die. Yep, 30K. Hey, 30K is basically when the game crashes on you. But at least it has me at Crew L1, my current location. Oh, dang it. I'm doing that now, aren't I? Okay. Well, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Ah, the joys of when the game crashes. So yeah, with a new patch, when you get 30Ks, it's stopping the ability to load back in, and choosing another server just kind of spazzes out on you, and you end up having to completely shut down the game and head back to the launcher and relaunch it. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's one of the joys we have. Okay, now we're trying to get back in. At least it's showing that I am at Cruel 1. So I should hopefully be able to just get up, run down. Grab some stuff and go. Maybe I'll actually go do a little bit of shopping. If I remember right there, you can actually purchase anything you need at Cruel 1. So I might get myself some stuff. If not, I definitely can if I head to one of the main systems. One of the main planets. Really, maybe that's what I'll do. Oh. Somebody escaped from prison. That is the prison outfit. So, med clinic. Yeah, the tick rate on this one's not doing that great either, because
Welcome to
the AI is
retrieval system.
standing in a line. Okay, that's there. Let's do this. Then let's run down. And we'll pick up those 2 deliveries. As you can tell, head down to the refinery. This also has a Galleria, so instead of a cargo area, this has a refinery. As far as I know, every single one has a Galleria area. What they sell at the Galleria or the stores that they have vary. You can actually get your mining stuff here, which you may want. And right here is the Pembroke armor that I was telling you about. And this is the refinery area.
Finding everything all right?
And here's my computer things. And I guess I'm going to send them to the Carrack. I thought I had a different one here. Apparently I don't. Well, I'll probably drop this off and then I'll call it. It's been a buggy day.
Katova, please report to management as soon as possible. Katova to management.
Didn't get to see a Carrick. I was pretty sure that I had my Taurus, which is a little bit better of a cargo ship for a single person because you actually have access to weapons with a Carrick. With a Taurus. A Carrick, you have no weapons access
To the ASOP
or
vehicle retrieval system. Welcome to the
My
ASOP
Taurus is
vehicle
here.
retrieval system. Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered selected. To the following location. Stand by. Goodbye. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following.
Hangar 13. It has a lot of guns available, but they're pretty much all turrets that someone needs to man. This ship will really come into its own once we get other ships. You could actually run with a crew on this ship. They actually suggest you run with a crew on this ship. And you could actually do exploration with it. It's designed as an exploration ship. I use it mostly for running bunker missions because it has a Type 2 med bed, which gives you the ability to spawn it. You can actually set your spawn to it, which makes it a little bit easier to run bunker missions, because you don't go far. But it is a big burly girl as well. So it takes a little bit of practice to get used to flying her.
Landing gear raised.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Oops, my bad. I've got to get you guys back. I'll give you a quick little tour of the Carrack once we get out. I just want to double check this. Okay. A quick little tip. If you're on a ship, check your ship's comms, and I'll tell you if there's somebody that's stowed away. There's somebody a little weird kind of hanging around. So I just want to double check. Make sure I didn't have anybody hitching a ride. One of the things pirates like to do, they like to jump on board and hitch a ride, and then as soon as you get out of let's go to Microtech. And once you get it out of Armistice Zone, they kill you. But you can see, as I was saying, she's a burly girl. Once you get her going, she likes to keep going. But we'll give you a quick tour of the outside. Here's the back end. Here's a top view. It's a pretty big ship. That area right there, at the top there, that's actually a hangar. You could actually fit an Aurora inside these little belly bumps right there. Those are actually cargo pods, and they can actually be swapped out for other things. Once we get modulation, you can see she's got a top remote turret, side manned turret, a lower manned turret. Here's a look at her from the front. She looks a little bit like a penguin. And another manned turret on the side. So she's pretty decently armored. She's formerly a military ship. So she's pretty armored. Of course, being from Anvil, most Anvils are. And, she's pretty good. Not exactly a solo ship, though. Because, like I said, you pretty much have no access to defend yourself at all. And she's a big target. She's got a good amount of shields and armor, so she won't go down easy. But you have no way of fighting back at all when you're by yourself. So it's always good to have a crew with you when you use this ship. But unfortunately, thanks to bugs, I'm using it as my cargo hold. So now we're going to head to Microtech, which is basically the lore for Stanton area is the UEE, which is the human government. It actually sold Stanton to 4 different companies. Each company bought a planet. And they tongue-tied. They basically control the area as a whole for basically patrolling and policing the Stanton system, with some minor help from the UEE. So each area has its own like each planet has its own, the company that owns the planet basically pays for their own security. So Crusader has Crusader security. Microtech, I believe, has MT services. Lorville has Hurston has Hurston Dynamic security. Area 18 is Area 18 security. Area 18 is basically a giant city planet. Lorville is basically a dystopia. And Crusader is basically a cloud city. It's a gas giant, and it's basically platforms set up in the gas giant. Microtech is pretty much the closest to a green planet. Well, I guess it is a green planet, but a little frozen over, that we have in Stanton. Microtech has a city called New Babbage, which is basically, think a city that would be built by Apple. And you get an idea of what New Babbage looks like. Lorville is a dystopia city. Think of any futuristic kind of run down, except for the areas the rich and powerful go. Wherever the workers are is kind of run down and trashy, and that's basically Lorville. Area 18 is kind of if you're familiar with Star Wars at all, runs pretty close to the planet Coruscant. And city-wise, kind of Blade Runner-ish. And Crusader has Orson. Orson is pretty much a cloud city. The platforms are very green and nice. A very clean looking city. But all platforms in the clouds of the gas giant. Microtech as a company is basically a tech group. The reason why Microtech itself, the planet, is a bit frozen over is because it kind of screwed up with doing the terraforming of it. And it didn't go quite right, so the climate is a bit off. So you end up with a lot of wind and a lot of cold. Most of the moons of Microtech are, well, pretty much they're all frozen wastelands. Area 18, the whole planet is a city. They basically bought the planet and rented out pieces of it to different companies. So each company basically has its own area, and around the equator is where they build their power plants, I believe. They are a ship component company. Crusader is a ship manufacturer, and that's one of the reasons why they took over the gas giant, because it has an oxygen atmosphere that in the area that they're at of the gas giant, so they can work without having to in relative and low gravity, without I guess with some gravity, without having to deal with having to have respirators and undersuits and all that on, so they can move a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, while building their larger ships. And Lorville basically mined and blew up pretty much every inch of Hurston. I should say Hurston basically mined or blew up every inch of that the planet that they have. Hurston is a weapons manufacturer, and I think every horrible thing about Jeff Bezos, Walmart, that you could think of, and that pretty much is the Hurston family. Literally, they milk their people dry. All the people there live in squalor, and except for them, like, you'll go to the Hurston Dynamics city center, and it's clean, pristine, like, beautiful. You go to the rest, where the Habs are, and yeah, not so much. It basically looks like if you've ever gotten your first apartment and that person in the first apartment happened to be a slumlord, yeah, that pretty much is what it looks like. Everything is run down, extraordinarily small, and just horrible conditions. So we're halfway there. This is what I was talking about with Quantum. You can end up spending a good amount of time in it while you're going from one place to another. And I guess they have been saying that they're thinking of making it a bit longer. They've allegedly sped it up, being that we're only in one system, and to give scale to other areas, they'll actually slow this down, which will be absolutely tedious. But Pyro is allegedly 4 times larger than Stanton. So most likely it'll take forever to quantum from one side to another, which is kind of what we're doing now. Now, each ship has a different thing, basically a different gas tank for quantum. So a lot of the smaller ships and fighters, you would not be able to do this. You would literally have to jump from one station to another in order to make it across. If you get a lower grade quantum engine, like if you get a Voyager for the Mustang and the Aurora, you could actually make the jump from one side to another. But the higher end ships you get, the bigger ships with the bigger tanks, you could actually get the military grade quantum engines, which go a lot faster. I haven't upgraded any of my ships yet, so I haven't actually put in the faster jump engines. So unfortunately, we're running the long ones. one of the things I wish that this ship had is a elevator entrance, so I don't have to open up that bay as often. Now the bay is you could fit, I believe, 2 Urzas in it. Unfortunately, it's not quite big enough to put any of the larger land land vehicles in. The Nova tank, or the tank, the Spartan, Ballista, and now Centurion, which all run off the same chassis. Those don't fit, unfortunately. Literally, those 4 ground vehicles, the only thing that you can get them in is a C2, M2, or an A2. The A2 is a tight fit that you can fit like 1 of them in, but you can fit like 2 or 3, depending on which ones, into a C2 or M2. Which are the largest cargo ships that we currently have in game. Which are made by Crusader. You could actually see one in the process of being built when you head to Providence platform. If you run around there, you could actually see one in the process of being built. If they're not, occasionally it gets swapped out for an MSR, which is another Crusader ship, which is runs along the same lines as very Millennium Falconish, including a hidden stow area where you can hide basically goods you don't want scanned. You can smuggle, basically a smuggler's hold. Alright, we're almost at Microtech. So, while this cools down, take a look at Microtech. It's basically a frozen Earth. Think Earth in the Ice Age. Now, you see this home plate? Anytime that you go to a planet and it has a home plate, that's basically a main location. You could also see it with the Moon of Yellow and Grimhex. It's basically a home location where, well, pretty much a home location. The major cities on the planet, and Grimhex is basically a home location for any people who do criminal activity. One of the cool things about Star Citizen is you're free to pretty much do whatever you want. Now there's 2 things you can do. This is basically New Babbage right there. That city. But if we look over here, this is where the spaceport is. So here's where you want to go. So I'm going to land here. One of the things you can do is over by the city, there is a place that you can land that is over by the gallery area, the mall area, which we'll be heading to. And that's the area that you would go to sell your merchandise. So you could actually head there to sell your merchandise and your cargo, and you can actually land outside, which is where the ground vehicles are, where your access to ground vehicles are. You'll land there and run in and take an elevator and be closer to the area. But I'm actually going to land in the hangar and give you guys a quick look at the Carrack. Click my VTOL, so I'll run over better in. Okay, there's my landing location. You see where you get these little, almost like V's or arrows and circles? That is literally telling you where your hangar is for you to land. How am I backing up? Come on down. There we go. For some reason it's just not letting me go down. Are you being such a pain? Okay. They're clear. Why are we not going down? Why is it telling? Oh, this thing is acting weird.
All systems offline.
Oh.
Enfield Aerospace. All systems online.
Well, that's why. I'm having such an issue. My landing gear was not down.
Landing gear deployed.
I could have sworn I put it down.
All systems offline.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Let's give you a run. Okay? This is pretty much the cockpit. I guess the main cockpit. There is a secondary cockpit. An upper cockpit, which we'll actually go to now. We'll start at the top and work our way down. There is a cartography room, which is kind of cool, but I'm not going to take you to that. So there's a bridge, lower bridge and upper bridge. Here's the upper bridge. You could actually fly the ship from here. Here is where the upper turret, remote turret is. We have drone area here, as well as a mechanics area. This is where the hangar is located. And you can fit an Aurora inside the hangar. You can actually access the hangar through those doors there. Here is the elevator. You go down. I believe the engine room is back there. This is the only way that you can head to the cartography deck, which has a 3D map. This is back of the area that we were. This is actually the med bay. I showed you. I think I tried to show you. This actually has a Type 2 bed, so you can set your spawn point here. You have a dining area, a billiard and crew area, crew sleeping area, a crew bathroom, crew bunks, captain's bunk. Actually, we'll just go through this way. There is a ladder that you can take to get up to the technical deck, but unfortunately it should open up at each of the decks, but it doesn't. You can only go from the sub deck, you bypass the habitation deck, and come climb up to the technical deck. Here's where you would actually have some evac suits. Are these escape pods? Here is a weapons rack. You have one on both sides. This leads you to the cargo slash whatever area. And you can see, I think that's my stuff there. And here is a docking collar, as well as the elevator to head up. And this is the ramp. Take it out. And unfortunately you can't put the ramp back up until it comes all the way down. And it takes forever. Whenever you land, one of the things you want to do is go and store your ship. Especially if you're have any cargo, because that's the only way that'll be interactable.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again.
My ship should be stored. And then we go to the metro loop. It's a very technical and kind of Apple-ish. Another elevator. we're gonna go to the commons.
Careful, doors are now closing.
And like I was saying, very high tech. Figure a subway is the Apple iSub. And here we go. Can you tell? Very Winter Wonderlandish. Still gorgeous.
Nearing next stop.
And here's our exit. And this here is the commons. Or basically the mall. New Batman Plaza. Center Mass is where you go to buy ship weapons. I believe you can get regular weapons here as well. Shubin Interstellar, this is the mining area. This is where you get mining stuff. Mining gadgets. Modules. Here's Center Mass. Oh, actually, just take a quick peek in. And here's where you get ship weapons. And here, pretty much anywhere that you see like one of these, that's usually where you're going to find this thing here. This is basically the trade and development area. And that is where you go to sell your stuff. I have all my stuff. Here. That was a nice little fill right there with my Quantanium. I didn't really get anything for it. That was okay. And boy, okay. But that was basically an hour's work. Running in my mall. Well, I did a mall and then I did the the prospector. If you get a package, here's where you would drop off your package here. Omega Pro is the ship component location. They deal with pretty much a lot of industrial ship components. Now here, factory line. This is actually Microtech. And they are the people that made the Mobi-Glass. This thing, which sucks, it needs to get worked on. But everything you do pretty much runs off this. So here's your comm link. Let's show it from the beginning. This is your normal one, which gives you basically a breakdown of everything you have. It'll tell you if you have a crime stat. It'll tell you your current balance, your name, heart rate, atmosphere, where your suit is at, right? The composition of what it is, like the outside composition, which is the gravity, O2 level, and things like that. The amount of oxygen you have left. Right. Then you go into the different things, basically the different apps. You have your comms app, which has any radio channels, your friends, which is what you would use if you wanted to, wait, I should say, up until 317, where they put a hotkey for leaving, for contacting the ATC in order to leave or land. You would have to go into here, go into friends, and choose where you were landing. In this case, it would have been New Babbage International Spaceport. You would click that, and that's how you go in. And this is where you would have pending if someone sent you a friend invite or a group invite that you missed in the overhead. You actually go in here and manage and go into it. This is your ship component, where you would bring in your ship, and you can change your different things like different flare systems. So you have coolers, your power plant, your quantum drive, your shield generator, different paints if you have different paints. And then you have your vehicle weapons, which would be missiles and guns. And that is for any ship that you have stored in this location that you can actually do work on. Shield generators, quantum drive, power plant, and coolers. And I don't think I have any paints. Yeah, I don't have any paints in New Babbage. My home is set for Warville anyway. That's where it most likely is. And the promenade is basically the area that you would go to surface vehicles, surface entrance. This is where you would come in if you parked right by the surface vehicle entrance. And here's another look at what it looks like out there. Good. Cold, but very clean. Futuristic looking. The promenade is actually the pretty much the nightclub and bar area. This is really cool at night. It's all lit up like a giant laser show. You got the bar down in the middle and nightclubs all around, as well as a couple of fancy attire areas. Commons here, where you get your ice cream, coffee, and access to holographic aquarium, fish aquarium. Aspire Grand. Oh, I missed the train. That is pretty much the the home location, the apartment location, also where the hospital is as well. I think on this note here, I'm going to actually call it. Unfortunately, we didn't get a whole lot done. I didn't get to take you on that much of a tour of anything. We just kind of got stuck in bugs and 30Ks. But everybody have a good night. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications of anything new that I have going on. And see you all out in the verse.